Hey everyone, this is D, Movieman, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic, coming to you with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. So I have another trailer reaction for you guys, and today I'll be reacting to the newest trailer for F9, the latest installment in the Fast and Furious series, directed by Justin Lin and starring Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, and Chris Ludacris Bridges. Let's get into it.
The world has a way of changing. And we change too.
I know some people, they would die for me.
There are moments that separate us.
They're my family.
But we always come back together.
We heard y'all needed a little love out here.
Y'all ever thought about the wild missions we've been on? We've taken out planes, trains, tanks. I'm not gonna even think about the submarine. And now we got cars flying in the air? Who is he?
Jakob is Dom's brother.
Been a long time, Dom. Little brother. You always say never turn your back on family, but you turned your back on me. Now your little family is in my world.
Are you ready?
Whatever's on you,
Is you ready?
it's on us.
Are you ready?
He's got his own private army. We need help.
Bring what you got.
No way.
Is you ready? Whole squad ready.
So how do y'all want to play this?
Fast.
We going We going Whole squad ready.
Okay, this is a bad time to mention this, but I don't drive.
Brother against brother. This should be interesting. But could you kill him?
Get the e-brake for me, would you, darling?
Crank it all the way up.
We the soldiers. Man, we messing with magnets now? Woke to wake up. Whoa. Confront. Yeah, everything we gave up. Even when we die, we raise up. Yeah!
It's good to be back.
We got no white flag and no treaty. We got the product. We got the tools. We supposed to stop that? Hold on! We going wild. We on the loose. People is blind. We are the truth.
I spent my entire life in your shadow. And now, you spend the rest of yours living in mine.
We going wild. We on the loose.
Not today.
We are the truth.
Really? Duct tape? You acting like we on our way to Home Depot.
Hunter! No, Ted! I don't want to die!
Oh my God. No, they didn't. Oh, why am I not surprised? Well, that is definitely the Fast and Furious we all know. So when it comes to the Fast and Furious franchise, it's one I've really enjoyed, but it only happened midway through the series. I remember when the first film, The Fast and the Furious, came out in 2001. It was fine, but I'm not a big car person, so the street racing aspect, I wasn't really into it. Like, it was interesting, but it didn't appeal to me at that time. And then we had Too Fast, Too Furious. It was fine, still not into it. And then we had Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, which was a little better because I really loved how we were able to see the culture and aesthetics of Tokyo. I think that made it a really different experience. But I remember thinking like, okay, nobody from either the first film or the second film is in this. So I'm like, what's the point? But then of course they tied Dom in at the end. And after that, I figured that was it. I'm like, okay, they've closed this out with Dom and this is the end of this franchise. But then we got Fast and Furious in 2009. Now that is the one Fast and Furious film I do have to go back and watch because when it came out, I was just kind of like, okay, so we're doing this again. So I never really had that much of an interest to go and see it. it, but Fast 5. Whoo! Fast 5. That was a moment right there, okay? I went in just kind of like, okay, they're doing another one of these. I'll just, I love being at the movies, so I'll sit and watch, and, if I can enjoy it, then that's cool. But man, the way they transitioned from it being just about street racing to incorporating the whole heist angle, I was like, okay. And then how they brought back not only the original cast, in addition to all these other characters that were in the previous movies, but then all these new characters also, I was like, okay, I think you got me now. So I really, really enjoyed Fast 5. That's actually still my favorite of the entire series. And then we had F6, also enjoyed that. But also that's when I realized, oh, okay, like we don't care about logic and reason. Not that it was really there, but I thought we were kind of clinging close to it. But no. Then when we got to F7, that experience was a little muted, partly because of Paul Walker's passing. We did F7, and I was just like, oh, okay, gotcha. I need to just turn my brain off and just go into this and take it for what it is, because I was like, there's a lot going on here. So yeah, we're gonna be in Abu Dhabi and we're gonna drive cars through skyscrapers. Okay, I get it. This is now the Fast and Furious Avengers. It's cool, I'm gonna go with it. And then we ended things on The Fate of the Furious back in 2017, which was not that long ago, but for some reason it feels like it was eons ago. Really, really enjoyed that. Another great experience in the theater. And then of course, 2019, we had Hobbs and Shaw, which also was really, really enjoyable. So yeah, the franchise overall, it's been through some ups and downs, but for the most part, I can say that it is one I really enjoy watching. Now, even though I do enjoy this franchise, I do know there are a lot of people that don't. I always see people saying like, why are they still making these movies? They need to stop making them. Or you can just not watch. Is that an idea? Maybe? Because for me, it's like, if I don't like something, I'm not going to watch it, and I don't have anything else to say about it. It's just like, okay, I'm good on that. So essentially, I've always been opposed to that. It's just like, okay, it's not a big deal. This is a franchise that's really, really fun. It's thrilling. It's just a good time. You don't have to criticize and overanalyze everything. We're just here for a good time, and that's it. And I've said this before, but the older I get, the more I appreciate that, because the escapism of the theater and just film in general is something that I really, really appreciate, and it's something I really need. It's just kind of like an outlet. However, when I saw the first trailer for F9 a year ago, I was like, we're gonna have to have a talk, because I don't know. I can't explain to you what it was. Maybe it just wasn't a good trailer, or maybe the way it was put together, but I was looking at that like, it was just a lot. And Fast and Furious has always been a lot, but it just felt like real extra corny, and it just felt like the tone was really, really, really extra. And I was just like, okay. And the funny thing is, I already know, with the cars and the stunts and jumping out of windows and flying over cliffs and that, I already know to expect that, right? Believe it or not, I was mentally able to accept all of that, right? Because I know to expect that. But the one thing in that trailer that had me like, oh, I don't think I can do this. John Cena. Yeah, my first thought was, why is John Cena in this? And as soon as they said, he's Dom's brother, I was like, oh my gosh. Why? Is this really necessary? Like, it's bad enough that I have to buy John Cena as the villain of this story, but then you guys not only spoil this reveal, it's just like, what? Yes, I know that there's a recurring family theme in the Fast and Furious series, but I think we're taking it a little overboard. Like, I didn't need this at all. Maybe this is also a moot point, but I just don't see in what world John Cena and Vin Diesel would be biological brothers. Maybe there's a twist, maybe they're adopted brothers, or like half or a step or something, but I was just like, and I know I'm not supposed to apply actual rules to this, but I just, for some reason, I was just like, So yeah, not gonna lie, the John Cena thing put me off. I don't dislike John Cena, but I am not a big fan, I'm gonna be really honest. He and Channing Tatum are about on the same level for me. It's just that I understand they're popular and they keep making movies, but I just really don't see it for either of them. I think John Cena has carved out a little bit of a lane in comedy. I think that works better for him, but this serious macho, oh, I'll take you down, brother. Like, no. No, thank you. And then them spoiling Han coming back at the end of the trailer, I'm just like, okay, like, I think they know that people are gonna go see it, but it's just, that trailer was just kind of a mishmash. And I just was reminded of it because it came on when I went to go see Godzilla vs. Kong about a week ago or a week or two ago. And it hit me all over again. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did this. However, this trailer is a lot better than the first one in my opinion. And I'm actually somewhat intrigued by it, although it is hard to get around that one thing. But still, I am somewhat intrigued by this. The other thing that kind of detracts from it is that we're not getting the entire crew in this. Although I am really glad we're getting Helen Mirren again for this because she's been a really great casting choice for this. I always love seeing her character whenever she pops up. And of course, Hobbs and Shaw is not in this film because during the events of it, we saw what happened in their spin-off film. So that also kind of puts a damper on it, but honestly, it still is something I'm gonna go ahead and see, if not just for the thrills and the fun of it. Even if at this point it's gotten really over the top and I see just a little bit of franchise fatigue, I definitely think that 10 should be the end of this. I think they've said that they were planning for that, but you never know because when franchises make money, they still will try to like squeeze the life out of it, every last penny and coin. So as I mentioned before, this is being directed by Justin Lin, and he is not new to the Fast and Furious franchise because he also directed Fast and Furious 6. And of course, I really enjoyed that film, so I'm glad that he's back on board. So yeah, we're getting to the superhero science fiction lane. We have gadgetry, we have technology, we're going to space. I mean, what can you say? Like, I don't expect anything less from this franchise. I really don't. So although there is that aspect of this that is going to get on my nerves, listen, it's going to be a good time. I will most likely be there to see Fast 9. And of course, I'll be here to give you guys my thoughts. So once again, this is D Movie Man signing off, and I'll see you at the movie.